Doing this program has helped me learn about myself that I no longer need pornography. I'm learning how to verbalize and say what I want. And I'm someone who didn't believe that I knew what I wanted. Over time, becoming able to advocate for myself, and it's helped me love others. There's others that are also not just struggling, but also winning in this area. That is also being able to live their life.
What's going on, Reboot team? Chris here with another testimonial from somebody coming to us from our exclusive Reboot implementation program. I'm actually looking forward to this conversation. I really enjoy this guy's progress, and I love talking to this guy. Really intelligent guy. I am honored to be able to share some time with him. I'm here with Carrington. How you doing, bro?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm
I'm doing
doing good, man. I'm doing good. Let's hop right into it. I am so excited to hear about your progress and your overall experience in the implementation program so far. Really, before we dive into like any specifics, how did you first discover the program to begin with?
Yeah, so first discovered it through an ad on YouTube, and it showed up through time. I don't recall what videos I watched in specifically, but I know that it showed that, hey, are you looking to have like a change in a porn habit? And so at the time, there was already a program I was using um, that was using an implementation program with faith-based, and so this was talking about what can we do with the actual tools. And so I remember getting a call when because signed up with an email, and then I think about maybe a month or so, or sooner, if not, then and within a month's time of sending my email, I got a phone call, and I was like, "What is this for?" Who's calling me? I signed up for what? And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it sounds like something I would do. So sure, why not?" So it actually turned out to be by accident. And me just signing up because I'm like, yep, whatever help I can take, I'll get. So if this works, I'll do it. If this helps out, I'll try it. So
And here you are, man. So I'm curious as to like what was the moment like when you finally pulled the trigger and joined? So you see these messages, you see these emails, and then you finally have that moment where you're like, you know what? Let's do this thing.
yeah, yeah. So I think the moment that what happened was because I just came back around to seeing that, as I mentioned before, there's other program I was using. I saw that, okay, is it so much the programs, or is this actually me? And I started to see like, hey, my time is getting compact, working in education, also coaching wrestling, and just have commitments outside. I'm seeing that my time didn't schedule that in to sit down with a counselor like I had wanted to, as well as target this area specifically for myself. So when I did, and eventually saw that the reason why I wasn't scheduling that time was just because I need to carve this out. There's people pleasing tendencies I had, and
Mm,
needed to address that. I don't think I would have found out how to label that if I didn't use this implementation program actually. So when I finally had a chance to sign up and do this. I saw that, hey, this is different from the first one that I had, which no disrespect to what I was using before, just this helped me with what I needed to have a foundation.
mm.
We're just more so, okay, how do I actually actively have a community of people that I'm not just they're reaching out to me, but I am also being called to reach out to. And that's where I started learning about accountability, which is different. The Facebook group was something that I saw. Oh, this is active. People are using this, and people are responding. I was like, what is this? Like small things. They're looking at wins and small stuff. So I'm like, I think the activity and how everyone was using this a lot is what really what kept me.
I love that, man. Tell me a little bit more about that foundation. Like what from the program helped establish that for you?
Yeah, the foundation changed from having something like a big system to trusting that there was already something in place that works and just doing it small, just little by little, just small. It wasn't so much pressure as this is homework. This is more of an invitation of, okay, start with where you're at. As in conversations we've had as well, just about, okay, start with what is rebooting me to you. Every rebooter, every hero, everyone on staff as well has said this before about what does reboot mean to you. And the more and more just what does it mean to me? Just it's more of a question of like, well, what do I need right now? What are my needs?
Mm. That's so, so important because our role as the program is to not tell you necessarily how to live because we don't know what's important to you. Only you do at the end of the day. Our
Yeah.
job is to help provide that facilitation and the community and the tools for you to do just that for yourself, to bring that rebooted Carrington to life. And speaking of the tools, what have been some of those specific tools that have benefited
Mm.
you so far?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I know the one that my I've used the most is the feel wheel. Still practicing dialoguing as well. But the I would say the go-to that has been helpful for me has been the emotional feel wheel and using that in I would say that really kicked in for me, and this may scare some people about how long it really started to work for me, but maybe about a year. I would say a year in. Um, as I shared before about working in education, like using it before, there's a lot of emotional withdrawals that happen in that. Your bank account only does two things: withdraw and deposit. And so I'm realizing, why am I feeling so swamped and fatigued, and what do I do about this? And so it's been helpful to label the emotions that I feel. So I know that when something happens, I know what I felt before it happened, before it took out of my account. And I know, okay, that there was already something else going on. And I know that in the moment when I'm feeling something, I don't want to make decisions when I'm feeling like disappointed or upset and anger, or even if I have these things, if I notice a consistent theme daily doing this in small, that, oh, these are aren't the drivers of my life. They're just signals on the dashboard showing me something's going on a little bit deeper.
You spoke about something really, really, I believe to be very important there. Talk to me a little bit about how, that sort of emotional muscle memory or that awareness and, making it through the other side or to the other side rather of that emotional withdrawal. Because a lot of guys will, just from being in the program myself and now speaking to men all the time that are in the program now, it can be very common to want and expect like changes like almost immediately, right?
Yeah.
Within like the first month. Talk to me a little bit about that, like that long game. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so I can immediately tell you there's a conversation I had with my pastor actually, and this was over breakfast, and he was telling me that um addicts tend to look for chasing positive feelings only.
Mm,
And so when I was sharing with him something that was going on in my life, this feeling of inadequacy, which I did not like. I didn't like that at all. He was like, "Hey, there are some feelings that you're getting used to, that are like being in the gym. You're bench pressing for the first time, and muscles are being torn, broken down, and they have to repair. So there's just some feelings you're gonna have to start getting acquainted to. Addicts only chase positive feelings only, but you can't live in positive feelings only. Or the human experience is to feel everything. So um, the the resilience, if you want to say that, the implementation program is helping through, is being human again, being back to human, where porn has served to say you don't have to be human. You can have whatever you want. And I don't know about that. I don't know if I want everything that I wanted, because sometimes I didn't know what I wanted for me, and seeing it at the time was like, no, it's usually avoiding something. So
there's so much gold in what you just shared, to be honest with you. And shout out to your pastor too. Like that is just,
yeah,
chef's kiss. But particularly that point of, again, I can relate having an addict be, addicted to positive feelings. They want to feel that positive thing all the time to the point where, those positive feelings become an addiction within itself. They become a form of escapism to the point where you'll, compromise your boundaries and values just for that spike, just
Yeah.
for that spark, you know? And rewiring that tendency, rewiring that conditioning and muscle memory, that's a process. So if you could take yourself back to your first month, like within your first 30 days, because we know it's not a quick fix, but
Oh yeah.
can you like just fresh in the program, Carrington, right? Once you started getting your feet wet with the material and really kind
Yeah.
of getting in the swing of things, what changes did you see in your first 30 days?
I saw I was so scared. Shout out to Han, who said, "Hey, the more you start doing this, you're gonna notice some resistance. You're gonna notice a little." He used a different word. I'm not gonna use it in the moment. You're gonna notice. You notice a little scared you, right? A little scared voice in your head that's gonna say, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this." And at the time, I listened to that resistance. I didn't name it, couldn't label it. And I was just like, hey, maybe some of this I should fall back on a little bit too. And in my first month wasn't successful. To if we were saying success is consistency, I wasn't posting daily. I wasn't looking at this daily. And at the time, there was shame about this because I'm like, hey, I know I'm not doing this, and I know that there's some things I'm not going to. But coming back, seeing that I looked at the fast track guide and through Reboot Heroes reaching out as well, I'm saying like, okay, this is support, but they aren't doing this for me. And it took time for me. I'm a slow cooker, but that's more of a trauma response of when there's something that is finally what I need. It's like I'm frozen, right? And so just thawing out to watching these reboot things is changing that mindset from homework to an invitation. So really, I would say it wasn't in the first month, which I would recommend anyone to do this within the first month. Do it. Just try it. Just try it, and don't expect change immediately. Try it. You aren't going to do everything, and I think the intention of the fast track guy is to be exposed to it and then be able to learn the basics. The first month was peppered at me, and I had to slowly go back into this and do this.
I really appreciate you keeping it real with that because, again, it kind of flashes me back to when I first started, kind of feeling like, you know, it is sort of a new way of thinking, it's a new routine, and yeah, there's a lot of truth that you spoke, and I appreciate you speaking on it. And I know one of the things that sort of kept me going was that sense of community. It's just like, oh snap, like there are other people that are looking at the same fast start guide
Yeah.
and really having similar feelings that you just described. And it's like, oh wow, like we literally are all in this thing together. We're all trying to recover and we're all trying to accomplish different goals in our lives. If there's anything that I've learned, like the more personal something feels, the more universal it actually is. So it's like,
Yeah.
snap, there's a community that actually cares and actually can relate. So let me hear from you as far as like the Facebook community, right? Like
Yeah.
your experience been like with that?
Yeah. I've seen that the shorter the post, the more questions I'll ask. The longer the post, the more questions people will ask. So it seems like regardless of what I post, there's someone that's going to respond. I'm like, wait, these people are reading this. I'm like, oh, I gotta follow up on this, man. Wait, it's like, and then sometimes I'm out throughout the day. I'm like, oh shoot, did I respond to this? But I think what helps is that I'm posting, I'm putting my heart out there, and think the people that are most vulnerable will heal the quickest. But like you gotta put your heart out there, and these are other people in the community that are also in the same season, as well as some ahead, some behind. And even if it's just a small win, that's still helpful for someone at some time. Maybe for yourself in a couple of months, just to look back at your progress in the archive and just say, oh yeah, this is where I was at.
Hmm.
Can I share a quick example real quick?
Go for it.
So last year is 2024, and I had a conversation with someone because they were asking me, "Hey, where were you at last year?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, where I was sleeping, or where I was staying, or something like that?" And they're like, "No, like just where were you at, like emotionally?" I was like, let me look back at my notes, but I come to find out, let me look. I was like, let me look back at the implementation program too, because I remember there are things I'd be sharing. I'm like, wow, I am not in that same place anymore, and that's a good thing. And there's some things I'm like, wow, I don't want to forget where I also was, because there are other people who have been like that too that I can still compassion for, even for myself.
Tell me a little bit about your experience with the coaching calls.
No, I love the coaching calls. The letting go calls have been so helpful for me as well. The monthly breaking the cycle calls. I noticed being in the breaking the cycle calls, there was a couple of chapters that I was on a call for that you've done a few times, and I'm like, hey, this is still helpful to go through this book with other people because you get different insights the next time. But I think it's more than just insights; it's more about understanding. Like, this is real stories. This is people that also have these same thoughts that I didn't know that I could say out loud, so
Mhm.
I don't have power over.
There you go.
Yeah,
So, so good. No, I'm glad you got that value, man. That's really, really good. And you were alluding to a little bit earlier having guys to help keep you accountable.
yeah.
Talk a little bit about that accountability aspect of the program and your experience with it.
I remember reading on our posts and hearing about accountability is that this isn't, you know, asking people to reach out to you. This is you telling someone what you're going to be doing and following through with that and just being a person of your word. It's been helpful that there are other people that are understanding, yet I want to be a man of my word as well.
That sense of integrity. And there's a question that I really enjoy asking on these types of calls, these types of conversations. Having experienced what you've experienced so far and having, put forth the types of moves to increase the likelihood of that, that Carrington with integrity, right? Like having him be a more recurring player in your day to day, having learned what you've learned so far, right? Let's imagine for a moment you link up with somebody who is just in the kind of like first beginning stages of coming to grips with the fact that they got a
Yeah.
compulsive behavior that's proven to be unhealthy for them, right? They're kind of on the fence. What should I do? How should I go about this? Where should I turn? Just suffering in silence in the way that you and I know about very well. Having learned what you've learned and experienced what you have so far, is there anything that you might want to share with that person?
Yeah, I would definitely have my, if I'm talking to them in person, my hand would be on the shoulder and just and saying, "Look, man, you're brave for sharing this." Now, if this was a woman, I'd have to be mindful about what I'd be sharing on this type of topic, especially with someone of the opposite sex, and be like, "Hey, yo, you know what I mean? Like, homegirl, a homegirl over here, no, that's like she can go talk to her too." Just want to use wisdom on that one. But what I'm saying is, I think anyone who's being vulnerable is I would want to be telling them like, you're taking a brave step to say this out loud. That is hard for anyone to have that battle silently and think that they're alone, but you're in good company because there's others that are also not just struggling but also winning in this area, that is also being able to live their life. So what that looks like for you, I guess in the context is just whatever I can say that's empathetic and understanding, and then calling out with some truth to that. Is that does not define you, and where you're at is you do have more life. And so I've actually been in this conversation and referred some people to the program, but I wondered if I turned it to a sales pitch more than just being empathetic, understanding, and calling them out. So I should can relook at that too. But that's what I would start out with as well. And
Well, a follow-up question that I would ask, would you recommend this program?
yeah, I definitely would.
Well, that's honestly like really really encouraging because we know very very well like how common of an issue this is, whether it's porn, whether it's sex, masturbation, other sexually compulsive behaviors. People all around the world, go through unhealthy relationships with those things. And having a program and having a community that's there and cares, people need that. And
Yeah,
you've been a valuable member of this community, and I'm not just blowing smoke. Like, I've really enjoyed seeing your progress and like keeping in touch and checking in with you. And yeah, before we bounce and call it a night, odds are if this makes it to the YouTube channel or the podcast, whatever, then odds are pretty high. Then someone who might come across this might actually be, in that sort of first stage of coming to grips with the fact, like, oh man, this is proven to be unhealthy for me. is there anything you might want to share kind of directly, to the
Um,
person before we say goodbye?
yeah, I would say doing this program has helped me learn about myself that I no longer need pornography. I don't need it. My wants and my needs, I know what they are now. I'm learning how to verbalize and say what I want. And I'm someone who didn't believe that I knew what I wanted. Didn't believe that.
Mm.
And over time, becoming able to advocate for myself and it's helped me love others. I know that everybody in this program wants to be able to love somebody and love others, and including themselves as well. So doing this program has helped me see that the values that I truly knew deep down after every time I finished watching pornography and feeling shame for myself, it was really able to get that out and actually put that on paper and start to build the muscle to love again.
Carrington, everybody, thank you so much for your time, and I really, really appreciate your insight.